Good morning. I want to make a small correction. Yesterday, Achunu mentioned something very important. I went back into the Mishnah Berurah. I wanted to see, when we started speaking about it yesterday, if you have guests in the house, and we started speaking about also the children, the wife, and about the people like the maidservants. So the Rav Chaim does bring down the Mishnah Berurah. The reason why we have an obligation not to postpone the meal is because they also have an obligation to eat. So therefore, if you are full, you have no right to push their obligation away. So Achun, if you were correct, it's going specifically on the Jewish people. Thank you. Rabotai, I want to speak about another halakha today. In Simon Kuf Ayin Dalet, the question is asked, if a person is traveling by car, he goes to a pizza shop, he buys himself 2 slices of pizza. He says the blessing of Hamot Lechem Min Haaretz. He sits in his car and he starts driving away. He gets home and then he sees, you know something? He wants another slice. Now he goes back to the pizza store. Mind you, he still did not say Birkat Hamazon. When he goes and buys the 3rd slice, does he have to go back and say Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz again? Yes or no? No time. 5-10 minutes. He went home. You know. Huh? So therefore what? So therefore you should say the bracha of Hamotzi again? That's going to be the halakha rabotai. Once you go to a store to purchase something, doesn't matter what it's going to be. Why didn't you buy 3 slices? Why didn't you buy 4 slices? Why did you specifically buy 2 slices or whatever amount it's going to be? Because that's exactly what you wanted to eat. So therefore, if you decide to go back to the store, you have to re-bless the bracha again. However, you do not have to wash your hands because your hands are still clean. Now, Rabotai, what's going to be the situation if this is happening at home? Your wife, Baruch Hashem, Yilan, today, it's very hard, for people to prepare everything in advance. Yeah, Baruch Hashem, you have all this restaurant, what do you call these restaurants? To go. Right? So, the wife, Emil Jones, she prepares everything, right? And she puts it in the freezer. And she says, Emil, whenever you're ready, you go, you take it, right? I have no time throughout the week to cook, whatever might be the situation. So she made you some form of soup. You hear? She made you a soup. Let's say, give me one soup, Yilan Borj. I don't know, whatever soup they make. Yeah, now listen to this. So you go into the freezer, you take, a container of soup, you warm it up, and you say shahakal or hadam, whatever you are eating. Now you decide again, something, I want more. It was actually good. So you go now and you take another container. Ilan, in this situation, do you have to say a bracha, yes or no? Why not? Huh? You're not limited because of here, you thought you're only going to want one, but if you would want more, you would have gotten it. So when you are at home and you went ahead and you took a cookie or anything else, and you go back to retake it, over there we're going to tell you, you do not have to bless. Rabotai, yeah, go ahead.
Isn't that whole idea of the achalta v'sevata v'rachta? You have to be full. If the guy wasn't full with 2 slices,
correct,
and he wants a 3rd slice,
correct,
he has to make another bracha.
So the Taz says, since when you brought it, you limited yourself to 2 slices, why don't you buy more? It's nothing to do with sachets. By achalta v'sevata, even today is a kazait or even a kibetza, that will obligate us in Birkat Hamazon. What you're saying is from the Torah, but the Chachamim put even a kazait or a kibetza. The Taz says because you limit yourself to those 2 slices. That's it.
I'm not sure if I'm full or not with 2 slices.
No, but you took it and you left, correct? You didn't. You were not in the store. Had you been in the store, then you would not say the bracha, because you might want to have more. But you took the slices, you drove home, you came, and they're like, something, I want more. Okay. Rabotai, I want to speak about a very important musar. There's a sefer that is called Ve'en Lamu Michshol. He speaks about derech eretz kadma Torah. When you start looking in today's generation, Baruch Hashem B'li Anhar, you have a lot of Torah. You have a lot of people that are doing Baalei Chesed, Baalei Tzedakah. They do everything, correct, Emil? Rabotai, but what about derech eretz? What about being moral human beings towards one another? He says over here, brought down Masechet Avot in Perek Gimel Mishnah Chav Aleph, Im ein Torah ein derech eretz. If a person has no Torah, he has no derech eretz. But the Mishnah continues to say, Im ein derech eretz ein Torah. But the other way around also. If you see a person that he sits and he learns Torah or whatever it might be, but he has no derech eretz, that means he has also no Torah. Rabotai, one cannot go without the other. You need both of them, Rabotai, to be able to succeed in Avodat Hashem. Comes Rabbeinu Yonah, and Rabbeinu Yonah says something very powerful. HaTorah lo'olam eino shochene biguv she'eino bal midot tovot. The Torah will never rest on a person that does not have good midot. If a person is a bal gaiva, if he's arguing, if you do not have good midot tovot, Rabotai, the Torah will never settle in you. You can now understand why people can't even learn Torah. Say it again. Of course, what woman? Yeah, we have to give. Don't worry about the woman right now. Yeah, the wife lectures. Some people don't get opportunity. Okay, I hear. Well, I don't want to get into this right now. Rabotai, therefore he says, V'lachen, and therefore, efshar sh'adam yilma Torah. It's impossible, Rabbeinu Yonah says, for a person to learn Torah. V'rak la'achar miken yavor ala midot. And afterwards he's going to work on his character traits. Rabotai, that's impossible. Eila b'tchila yesh la'avod ala midot hara'ot. First, you got to work on your character traits. And change them for the good. And afterwards, the Torah is going to stay by you and it's going to rest within you. Rabotai, like he says, like Rav Chaim Igal brings it down also. A person has to be more careful with bad character traits. Then being concerned with doing the mitzvot, the positive and the negative commandments. Why? When a person has good character traits, he's going to be able to fulfill all the mitzvot with ease. Mr. Isaac, right now Pesach is coming, correct? Do you know what the machlokit, the war, there's World War III that's coming, it's in effect. But on Passover, Rabotai, unfortunately, this is what happens. The husband, the wife, the children, the parents, people start arguing during Passover. Emil, why? Emil, what are we doing?
Because we do unnecessary things.
That's exactly. We do spring cleaning, right? We think dust is chametz, and we think our children, that the husbands are sacrifices. Rabotai, listen to what we're saying over here. Derech eretz, Rabotai. Even when you're cleaning for Passover, you have to be mindful of your children and your husband, and so forth and so on. Now, Rabotai, before we do conclude, I want to try to bring something very important. Nobody knows how anybody behaves inside the house. Correct, Elon? You don't know, right? You don't know what I do in my house. Correct? You don't know what, Emil, you don't know what nobody does. Correct? Rabotai, I want to show you, how do you know if a person is a Baal Midot Tovot? How do you know if a person has derech eretz? Besides, this is very simple. It all depends. If you're at business, look the way he, how he conducts himself. When you're sitting and eating with him, look at the way he eats a meal. Does he grab on the food? Is he the last one to take? There's ways you can find out. But Rabotai, I want to speak about the Beit HaKnesset, specifically synagogues. How many times do you guys go to a synagogue, Emil? You go, you daven, not you Chas V'Shalom, John, I'm just saying, a person goes and he davens, he takes the siddur from the shelf, or he takes a Shulchan Aruch and he leaves it over there, Mr. Isaac. Or he takes a cup of coffee and he leaves it as if I'm the attendant, I have to go clean up after him. Or he takes his chair and he leaves it outside. Rabotai, you can see, or they come in, Mr. Isaac, in the middle of daven, they start speaking inside the shul. These people, Rabotai, have no midot tovot. You can't have good character traits, Rabotai, when you behave in such manner. Therefore, we have to be very careful. This is how you can pick up, Rabotai. Why is this important? Ephraim John, tomorrow you have to give your daughter to get married. What do you start looking in the boy? The Mercedes that he drives? The watch that he wears? Nidai boch. Right? Midot. But how do you know? What time he comes to shul? How does he respect his parents? What does he do? I told you this on Shabbat. I want to say this again in Miljon. Mr. Isaac, I know of a father, Mr. Isaac, a very, very wealthy father. He had a daughter. But he didn't want to give his daughter to anybody. Money was not an issue. He will take anybody, even if they come from a poor family. So eventually they got married. I asked the father, tell me, why, out of all the boys, why did you give your daughter to this family? I just want to understand. Listen what he told me. He said every single time when we would get up from the table, he would be the first one to get up, Emil, and he would be holding the jacket for his father to put on. He said that was impressive. When you have a child that is able to respect their parents in today's day and age, you should know these children are very good children. It's not easy to respect parents today. Everybody's about themselves. So this, Rabotai, is very important. When it comes to shidduchim, business, anything else, Start looking at midot tovot. Do not be fooled just because they have a kippah and a beard and a black and white shirt. Rabotai, all this does not mean anything. It's about the character trait, who they are inside. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.